giant claw powerful enough to punch through metal. A mouth full of crocodile-like teeth. And a sail on its back. It's the biggest, baddest, weirdest dinosaur you've never heard of. Its name is Spinosaurus. Now we unravel its deadly secrets as we resurrect a monster. Africa, 95 million years ago. Another day in the dino killing fields. Paralititans are gigantic, lumbering plant eaters. Their size keeps the adults safe. But their babies are a softer target. Rugops, a 30-foot-long killing machine, is on the hunt. Rugops' speed wins the day. But it's not over. In this land of giant killers, there was always a bigger beast. Enter Spinosaurus. Although Tyrannosaurus rex and Allosaurus are considered dinosaur superstars, Spinosaurus deserves celebrity status too.
Spinosaurus is a truly amazing dinosaur. It's big, it's really specialized, really well adapted to a different way of life than any other giant creature, and it's just plain weird looking. It certainly is one of the great stars in the history of dinosaurs.
Spinosaurus has earned its Hollywood star. It's big and bizarre with a seriously bad attitude.
If I heard that there was a living Spinosaurus today, I would be there in a flesh. I would love to see what this creature actually was like, moving around, looking for food, just even standing there. To see such a creature unlike anything around today, would just be phenomenal.
Resurrected, it would be a walking nightmare. And its horror credentials really go off the chart when you realize that it is also a 60-foot-long hyper-carnivore.
It was a giant. It was the biggest of the meat-eating dinosaurs we know about. It had a long skull with big crocodile-like teeth. It had massive arms with huge claws. And it had these really weird, elongate spines coming out of its back to form a sail or a fin. Things that make it distinctive compared to all the other giant dinosaurs.
How could this amazing creature be such an unknown quantity? The answer is simple. The fossil evidence that could confirm its star status was obliterated. There is no complete skeleton, just a few fragments of fossils. In order to resurrect Spinosaurus, we must go beyond the fossil record and build him from the inside out. We will use high-tech imaging to look inside the few fossilized bones that do exist. And we will use robotic monsters to try to understand how it hunted and killed.
Look at those teeth. How are they shaped? How would those teeth pierce through flesh? Look at those jaws. How do those arms operate? How deeply could those claws penetrate? What we do know about Spinosaurus is that it was weird and it was big.
The story of Spinosaurus begins here, in the Sahara Desert in Egypt. Between 1909 and 1914, German paleontologist Ernst Strummer unearthed the first and only fossil bones of Spinosaurus. Strummer brought the fossils back to the Bavarian Museum of Natural History in Munich, and the world got its first indication of just what this unusual animal looked like.
This is a photograph of the actual type specimen of Spinosaurus aegyptiacus, which was mounted on the wall in the museum in Munich.
This is what puts the spine in Spinosaurus.
You can see the dorsal vertebra here with these amazing dorsal spines sticking up. This one here is 1.65 meters, so 5.5, almost 6 feet. This is this long crocodilian-like jaw here. Really an amazing skeleton, and this is the one and only Spinosaurus skeleton that has ever existed.
But the skeleton didn't last long. Human history collided with prehistory. During World War II, Allied bombers conducted long-range bombing missions over key installations across Germany.
Sadly, the Bavarian Museum was across the street from the Nazi Party headquarters. And on April 27th, in 1944, the Allied forces bombed Munich, and collateral damage destroyed the museum.
The Spinosaurus skeleton was smashed to dust. What had survived for 95 million years was vaporized in the fog of war.
Since there are only a few bits and pieces known from the original Spinosaurus, it's pretty difficult to put it together. What we need is a link. What we need is something to tie those pieces together.
The few photographs of this amazing discovery have inspired our team. They provide a foundation that allows us to resurrect a monster. But these photos raise questions about how this predator hunted and killed. Why were its jaw and teeth so different from those of other carnivores?
Unlike a typical meat-eating dinosaur, it's got this long, very crocodile-like snout and cone-shaped teeth, rather than the railroad spike-like teeth of T-Rex.
Why did it have such huge forearms, tipped with gigantic claws?
The claws and hands of Spinosaurus, honest to goodness, are like industrial meat hooks. If you were to go to a slaughterhouse or a butcher's shop, that's where you would see their modern equivalent.
And what about that bizarre spine that gives Spinosaurus its name?
All those long spines together form this big sail or fin on the back. It's a narrow structure. What's it for?
In order to find out, we must travel back 95 million years. The Earth that Spinosaurus inhabited would be unrecognizable to us. What is today the Sahara Desert was a vast network of tidal and mangrove swamps. The hot climate allowed for a multitude of plants and animals to flourish. There was plenty of prey for Spino, but also plenty of competition.
Spinosaurus certainly was a big apex predator, but it wasn't alone. When we go and look at the environment that Spinosaurus lived, we see a couple of really large predatory dinosaurs. We even have indications there might even be more.
Spinosaurus lived in an environment with extremely large plant-eating dinosaurs that may have been a major food source. But it was competing for this food source against some pretty tough customers.
One of Spino's main rivals was a giant predator with a mouthful of a name, Carcharodontosaurus, and it had a mouthful of fearsome shark-like teeth.
It's essentially a giant land shark, a terribly fierce creature. It has a huge jaw.
And lurking just offshore, giant crocodiles as big as a bus stalked the warm, brackish waters.
This thing could have preyed upon just about anything it wanted to, probably including dinosaurs.
But one alpha predator ruled them all. Spinosaurus. What gave him his killing edge?